Let's sit up tall. Close the eyes. Let the body quiet down. In yoga, we're able to separate the parts that make us. And in that separation, we can see more clearly the whole being. So we separate our perception of the body. We can sense the body. We sense the body breathing. The body relying on this breath. You can sense the feelings that occur before they turn into thought and emotion. Very subtle, requiring plenty of focus, but doing our best to be aware of those. And then we can separate the thoughts, and we notice the thoughts and be aware of them as we move through our practice and as we are still in the practice. And as well as the emotions. Being able to separate out the emotions and see what is what in this whole being. And setting ourselves in the spiritual mind. This higher part of ourselves. So today we'll be focusing on these words. Hold these words in your heart. First, bring your attention to the heart center and start to imagine, start to sense a glow and a warmth in the heart center itself. Another place you can focus is between the eyebrows. Keep your eyes fixed on the small light, and it will grow. Keep your eyes fixed on the small light, and it will grow. That will be our object of concentration through our practice today. Now, if you haven't already shifted into a deeper breath, go ahead and find it. And with every breath that you take, you might bring back this thought. Keep your eyes fixed on the small light, and it will grow. And we'll start our practice now with Shiva Mantra. You can bring palms together. I bow to the presence of the divine within, our true and highest teacher that lives in and around us as being, consciousness, and bliss. It is ever present and radiates peace lighting the way to transformation. Breath in. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchidananda Murtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let's release the hands and come down to the back. And we're going to start with a prop underneath the head. So those that came to practice yesterday, similar positions for a moment. So block or blankets underneath the head, and then you'll release the arms alongside the body, maybe a little bit away. Let the knees press into each other and the feet be a little further than hips distance. So the head's propped up. The neck is a little higher than the rest of the spine. And we're going to allow ourselves to relax in this position completely. So the legs are supporting each other. And then the low back isn't so strained here because we have the knees bent and the feet planted. And we have the arms relaxed and the head resting on a prop. The most important thing that we will learn physically in our practice is the ability to relax. And so let's see here if we can let the head feel heavier and a little heavier. And let the shoulders feel heavy. Shoulder blades feeling heavy. Arms feeling heavy in the elbows, the upper arms, in the forearms and the wrists, in the palms, the hands, the fingers, all feeling now heavy, relaxing these areas completely. And then we'll relax in the chest, relax through the rib cage, relax through the abdomen, the hips and the pelvis relax. Heaviness and relaxation going together, relaxing through the legs, feeling that the inner thighs can relax, the outer thighs, the front and back of the thighs, the knees relaxing, the lower legs relaxing, the ankles relaxing through the feet, the heels, the ball of each foot, the soles of the feet, the tops of the feet, every toe, from the biggest to the smallest toe. Now sense the face relaxing if that hasn't smoothed out already. Feel the space between the eyebrows smooth out. And now we're going to focus in that space between the eyebrows as we are here and back into this object of our concentration today. From light on the path, keep your eyes fixed on the small light and it will grow. Keep your eyes fixed on the small light and it will grow. This is the light that strengthens our spiritual perception. Keep your eyes on the small light and it will grow. Now shift into the heart center and focus on the light there. Take 2 more deep breaths. Now sense how relaxed you are. Even though we're going to move the body, we're going to allow ourselves to feel as close to this as possible. So now we'll start to separate the knees and begin to open the knees and bring the soles of the feet together. So now we'll relax the legs, relax the knees outward. And we'll let the thighs relax. Feel the hips open. Let the right leg get heavier and heavier. Let the left leg get heavier and a bit heavier. Watching the legs sink for a few more deep breaths. Three more deep breaths. Before we remove the head from the block, we're going to take the hands behind the head and take the thumbs to the occipital grooves, those 2 grooves right underneath the skull. And we're going to put some pressure here. So the low body can stay as it is, but we'll start to push into these grooves where we hold a lot of tension, and maybe finding some outward circles, maybe some inward circles. And then we'll put some pressure in and maybe interlace the fingers behind the head as you continue to put pressure into these grooves, and then lift the head with the arms. Another 2 breaths. And we'll exhale, release the head. Release the hands. Let's release the block as well, or the blankets. Just take them behind and start to reach the arms back. Still feeling the knees open. Maybe even lift the belly button a little bit, get a gentle back bend here. Bring the arms out to a T. Work the shoulder blades down. And now we'll start to plant the feet so they're hips distance apart. Keep the feet on the mat to some degree. We're going to drop the knees to the right so the feet won't touch. The outer edges, right outer edges of the feet are touching the mat. Turn the head to the left and to the right a few times. So feeling a nice release in the low back. Turning head side to side. And then we'll turn the head to the left. And we'll bring the feet to the mat and take the knees to the left. Take the head to the right and then move the head side to side, loosening up the neck. So if you have foot on top of foot, you'll get a little bit of a twist in a different place in the spine, a little higher up. So it's nice to have a different variation. Now we'll turn the head away from the knees. And here we can also feel the right thigh stretching a bit. You might feel that closer to the knee. Relaxing the whole body. And one more breath. And then we're going to plant the feet and bring the knees into the chest now, arms around the knees, a little swaying side to side. You might play around with the feet, take some circles, flex point. You might push knees into hands into knees, get the low back massaged a little bit. It's nice to take things slow, so different from most of our daily lifestyles. So now we're going to find our way to seated. So you might rock up or you might roll to the side to rise. And again, we're needing some props today. So if you don't have yoga blocks, firm blankets, or books, come in handy. So first we'll start by having a foot in front of the shin or maybe foot underneath the leg. You know, let's all start on the same side because we will do both sides. So have the right foot forward and then have your props close. So the next inhalation, I like to have foot in front of shin, as you know, I usually say that, but I can press my knees down. So see if that works better for you. On the next inhale, reach the arms upwards. And then on the exhale, twist to the right, left hand to right knee, right hand behind. Get tall and then turn to the right. But on the inhale, we come back to center and we can sweep the arms upwards. Exhale, twist to the left, right hand to left knee. And then nice tall spine turning to the left. Now we're going to do this a few more times. So inhaling, reaching the arms out and up. Exhaling, twisting to the right. Inhaling, coming back to center, reaching up. Letting the head come back. Exhale, twisting left. So we'll take a few more of these. Let's just take this for a whole minute actually. So continuing at your pace and remembering, it's so important to keep this object in our minds today, to keep your eyes fixed on the small light and it will grow. One more. And then from center, we'll meet with the arms reaching upwards. Hold the phrase in your mind. Keep your eyes fixed on the small light and it will grow. And now we're going to fold. So you can release the arms down, lower the head, begin to roll down and rounding the back, and then finding a place for the forehead to rest. So you might have more extension in the back, you might have more rounding. Just do what feels good, and then rest the forehead so that you can relax completely into this position. So there's plenty of ways so that if you're very inflexible here, you can, definitely rest elbows on some props and then bring hands to the forehead to the hands. Many ways to be here. Now we're going to practice relaxing the body. So feeling the heaviness of the head, the heaviness of the arms, the heaviness of the trunk, of the hips, of the legs, the hands and the feet. So we'll be here for 2 minutes total. We're approaching our first minute. See if you can relax a little bit more through the whole body. Relax the neck. Noticing every little release as best as you can, every little segment that changes. And this is about our second minute here. So now let's start to rise. And before we take the other side, we're going to take my favorite posture in the whole wide world, a boat posture. So let's go ahead and plant the feet. And you can bring the arms forward, or if you feel like you're going to need some support, you'll bring the hands down. Then we're going to walk the feet back and let the back slant a little further backward. And then we'll start to lift maybe one foot or both feet, maybe straightening the legs or keeping them bent. And again, you can find support in any way you need here. So let's take 3 more deep breaths. And we're going to set the feet down, cross the ankles in the opposite order. So left ankle in front, And then we'll begin again, reaching the arms upwards. This time turn to the left first, settling the hands down, lifting the heart and turning to the left. Inhaling center, exhaling right. Inhaling center, exhaling left. So now again, we're going to continue for 1 minute. Keep your eyes fixed on the small light and it will grow. One more. And then we're meeting in the middle once again with the arms reaching upwards, the head coming back. Hold the object of concentration in your mind. And now we'll release the arms, lower the head, begin to fold, find your support for the forehead. Remembering if the knees are lifted up, if you're really tight in the hamstrings and the hips, you know you're going to prop yourself up. You'll sit on top of blankets to help that and just compensate for it. And then you'll be able to find yourself relax into this. So now we'll practice relaxing, letting the head feel heavier, the arms, the trunk, the hips, the legs, and again the hands and the feet. Relaxing the neck, relaxing the shoulders. We're just about at our first minute. Checking in with the breath. We didn't officially initiate that victorious breath, that practice with fogging out and in through the mouth. So see if you need to do that to remember to keep that breath going. And then look for even inhalation to exhalation. Maybe it's 6 seconds, 7 seconds, or less. It changes based on how challenged the body is sometimes. Almost there, a couple breaths. And we'll start to rise now, so walking the hands. Once we rise, take the arms upwards. Let the head come back. And then we'll lower the arms down and settle the feet on the mat to prepare for second boat posture. Navasana. So when you're ready, start to take the back, slanting it, and then finding your balance on the sitting bones, lifting the feet or foot, and then alternating if you're working with one leg. Two more breaths. And release. Cross the ankles, come forward onto hands and knees. And let's start to move through some cat-cow. We are going to do a little strengthening in the arms today too. So in the next inhale, belly dips down, tailbone, head lift up. Exhale, belly pulls up, tailbone, head shift down. Continue this at your pace. A couple more. And then we're going to find neutral spine. So we're going to take either supported push-ups today or not supported. So if you're not going to support yourself, you'll roll over or support the body with the knees. You'll roll over the toes, and then you'll have the shoulders and the wrists lined up with each other. And so you're going to start from a plank. If you're not going to do it from here, you're going to come to a plank and then set the knees down so the knees will be behind the hips. It'll be pretty far back. So we're going to take, let's say, as many as we can for, let's just do 15 seconds to start. So in the next exhale, pull the pelvis in first of all, keep the core engaged. As you exhale, bend the elbows, keep everything else straight, and then we'll press into the palms and lift up and lower. So in 15 seconds, maybe we'll get 3 in based on the rate. And then we're going to rest and come to child's posture for a moment. So folding the hips down, folding the head down. Checking in with the wrists, giving some motion to the wrists, some circles. If it's hard to go all the way down in the push-up, you could probably go, less than that. Just go halfway to start so you build some more strength. So now we're going to rise up again in just 15 seconds worth. So again, make sure the hips are not lined up with the knees if you're going with some support here. So then we'll go ahead and begin for 15 seconds. That's 15. So now we'll come back to a child's posture. We're just going to do one more 15-second segment. Take a couple deep breaths. And then we'll rise back up, setting up. And then let's start again. Exhaling. And that's it. Come back to child's posture. Take the arms and send them behind you. So actually, if the knees are close together, you can take the arms behind and have the forehead resting on the mat or block. If that's too difficult, because it does take a lot of flexibility there, you're going to separate the knees and then tuck the arms underneath the trunk and hold the feet. And then maybe rest one side of the face to the mat or even the forehead. Doesn't matter either way. But just allow the arms now to relax completely down underneath or to the side of the trunk. Three deep breaths. Now feel the whole body relax as you take the next two breaths. Maybe a nice clearing breath. And we're going to rise back up. Come to table. We're going to find downward facing dog, but with the help of a prop today, so it's good to change things around. And so what we'll do is we'll have the forehead resting on a block. So we'll start with hands about a step forward from table, roll over the toes, and then begin to lift the hips. So you might have to reposition yourself based on where you have the support. It's not mandatory, of course, but it's kind of nice to have something to do differently. So once you're in downward facing dog again, you've got the head resting on a block. You might start to explore a little bit of motion through the rest of the body. And then eventually just finding the sense of stillness in downward facing dog with a little support. It's kind of nice. It takes a little bit of pressure off of the hands. Two more deep breaths. And we're going to step the right foot forward. So once you get it forward, you can move the block. And let's press the back heel down and then lift the back heel up. So we're just going to kind of push the heel up and down a few times as we're getting accustomed to being in this lunge. Feeling the left calf extend and contract. Okay, then we're going to start to heel toe this right foot to the right just a little bit, not all the way to the edge of the mat. Bring both of the hands to the inside of the right foot and start to slide the left foot further back till you have the palms on the mat. Now from here we're just going to start to move the right leg a little bit, taking the knee to the right and then planting the foot. So you're kind of lifting part of the foot up and then planting the foot down. And then let's go ahead and keep the foot planted and begin to walk the hands out towards the front left corner of the mat and then let the head go. Look right through the legs. Take 4 deep breaths. It's a little challenging. Okay, now we'll start to walk the hands back into the inside of the right foot and lift the right arm, come into a twisting dragonfly. Another deep breath. We're going to keep the right arm risen, lower the left knee to the mat, send the right foot to the back of the mat, and then lift the right leg. So we're in a modified side plank. Strong left arm. Next exhale, bring the right hand down. And from here, just adjust the left knee a little so it's underneath the left hip. Take the right foot over to the left, set the foot down past the left foot, right, probably off of the mat. Then turn the head to the left, look for the right foot. One more breath. So right leg is fairly straight here. And then we'll come to center, lift the right leg up. Take the right leg out to the right, all the way to the right. Set the right foot down, and then we'll pick up the right arm. Fingers are spread on both hands. Next exhale, right hand comes down. Lift the right leg up, take it back. Come into a table position. Knees come down. Lift the right arm again. And then exhale, we'll thread the needle, right arm through, underneath the left. Come all the way down to the right shoulder. Right side of the face. So a few breaths in your desirable position here, your maybe the go-to that you typically will go to in this way, and then we'll add to it. Let the head get heavy. All right, so now we'll have the left hand down and relax the left arm. So it might even mean that you take that left elbow forward a little bit above the right arm. Then we'll straighten the right arm, straighten the fingers, pull the right shoulder back. Just a little bit more effort to be here. Will help release some tension in the shoulder, around the shoulder blade. And set the left palm down. Inhale, lift the right arm up. Exhale, the right hand down. We're going to come back into our supported downward facing dog. So go ahead and set up your block, and then we'll have hands step forward a little bit. Roll over the toes, lift the knees. Now while we're here, we're going to focus on the placement of the armpits. So let's just kind of notice what's happening with the arms. And now imagine the outer parts of the armpits and try to roll them so that they're facing the mat. There's a little bit of an inward motion here. Couple deep breaths. And now we'll step the left foot forward. I'm going to move the block. We'll have the left foot just come to the left a tad, about a foot's worth. Bring both hands to the inside of the foot. Actually, we didn't do that so soon, did we? Before we had hands around the left foot, so maybe stay there. And then we're just focusing on sending the right heel back and then lifting the right heel. And so exploring through the right calf. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and bring hands to the inside of the left foot, just scooching it over to the left a bit, and then from here we start to sink into the lunge, left knee on top of left ankle, and begin to walk the hands forward to the right, towards the front right corner of the mat, slightly off to the right of it, depending on where you are. And I like to have my fingers down rather than my palms here. You could use blocks if needed. Looking right through the legs here. 3 more breaths. And we'll walk the hands back in and find that twisting dragonfly. Right palm down, inhale, left arm up. If the mind gets distracted away from the body, if it starts to float, the mind starts to float around and move from thought to thought, come back to our object of concentration. Keep the eyes fixed on the small light, and it will grow. So now we're going to bring the right knee down and take the left leg back and lift it in this modified side plank. Now we'll take the left hand down. We need to adjust the right knee a little bit so you could roll over the toes and then lift the knee and just set it right back down so it's in line with the right hip. Then we'll take this left leg over to the right and turn the head to the right as well. Looking off to the left foot. We'll come to center, lift the left leg, take the left leg all the way to the left, set the foot down, and then inhale, pick up the right arm. I'm sorry, the left arm. Pick up the left arm. And see another breath or so. And we'll exhale the left hand down. And pick up the left leg, bring it back, come into table. Pick up the left arm again, and we'll thread the needle, threading right underneath the right arm, and then finding left side of the face, resting on the mat, letting the head get heavy, letting the whole body get heavy to help stretch the back of the shoulder here, and finding maybe the right arm doing something else that feels right to you. Another deep breath. We're going to relax the right arm now and let it get heavy if it was active. Straighten the left arm. Reach those fingers away from the left shoulder And then pull the left shoulder back. So hopefully you'll feel some activity in the right under the left shoulder blade. And we'll plant. I feel like one more breath actually would be good here. One more breath. So we'll plant the right palm and then pressing into it, lift the left arm upward, bring the hand down. Feels like a heart chakra posture is in order. So from table, slide the palms forward. If you're tight in the shoulders, you're going to want to block underneath the head. We're going to slide the palms forward, bring the forehead down, keep the hips over the knees, keep the forearms lifted, the fingers spread wide, palms pressed down. And then on every exhalation, send the heart center closer towards the mat. This is a good place for us to focus on the light in the heart center. Coming back to the phrase that we've been absorbing. Keep your eyes fixed on the small light and it will grow. Maybe now watching that light grow, even if in just your imagination. One more breath. We're going to be sliding up to table, coming into downward facing dog, stepping forward into a forward fold, and separating the feet to the edges of the mat. Lowering the trunk. Maybe clasping opposite elbows with the hands. Three more deep breaths. Now we'll start to rise by unrolling the spine. So bend the knees, let the arms dangle, and begin to pick up the spine little by little. It's our first time in standing today. And once you rise, maybe roll the shoulders a little bit. Any sort of wiggling you need to do. We're going to be stepping the feet so that they're hip distance apart. And then we'll take shoulders up, reach them back, lower them down. Let the palms face forward. Standing in mountain posture, nice and tall. Engage the thighs, engage the glutes. We're going to be balancing. So we're going to start reaching the arms upwards. Keep the right arm lifted up and then send the left arm out to the left. think we're going to be taking the left leg back. Yep. So we're going to shift the weight over to the right leg and then begin to send the trunk forward a little bit so you can send the left leg back. So the left leg nice and straight, spreading the toes, doing your best to balance here. And if you need to touch the toes down to the mat and then pick them up again, feel free. Never feeling restricted here in your postures. We're fully choosing to be in these positions, right? And then if not, then we just alter them a little. 2 more deep breaths. We're going to be bringing this left knee forward. So bring the arms to a T first. Now bring the left knee forward and hug the left knee with the hands. Lower the head so you can see if you're going to need some support for the other side. Maybe get closer to something. So I think we'll just do one and then the other. And then we'll inhale, pick up the head and lower the left foot to the mat. So let's work with the other side. So we'll start in mountain, palms facing forward. Shoulders back and down, thighs engaged. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, take the right arm to the right. Send the weight over to the left leg, and then send the right leg straight back. Spread the right toes. It's a fairly gentle strengthener. A little bit of balance in here kind of adds to the challenge. Keep the right glute engaged. Spreading the toes on the right foot will really, really help. Manipulating as small as parts of our bodies as we can. Another deep breath. Now, maybe we can keep the right leg risen. Bring the arms to a T and send the right knee forward. Hands around the right knee. Pull it in, send the head down. And lower the foot. Bring the head back up. Okay. We'll bring hands to the hips and just shake out one leg and then the other. I think we're going to pick up the energy a little bit before we come back to lying down on the back. So let's have the feet hip distance apart, and we're going to take some arm swings. So in the next inhalation, we're going to let ourselves do this in a loose kind of way. All of us here, I think, have done this together. So in the next inhale, reach the arms up. On the exhale, bend the knees and swoosh the arms down. Let the head go. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, swoosh down. And you can be exhaling out through the mouth. You might even make a swooshing sound. Inhaling up, swooshing down. See if you can be focused here on the trunk as that space that's actually creating the movement in the arms. A few more. One more swing. And then we're going to meet with the arms reaching upwards. And now we're going to start to lift the heels. So rising up. 5 breaths. Okay, and we'll lower the heels, bring palms together, thumbs in towards the heart center. Before we actually come back to seated, I'd like to find a wall. So find something. I have blocked my wall with this, so I'll probably use like the curtain area. but we're going to actually be stretching the front of the shoulder and the chest along the wall. Now, normally we are kind of like this. We have our elbow level with the shoulder, and then we walk away from the wall. So you can do that if you'd like. Another option is to straighten the arm just right along the surface with the shoulder, if you can, press into that surface, into the wall, and then begin to just turn away from the wall. So find your way there. Not much explanation is needed for this one, right? Just nice straight arm and trying to get that arm pressed into the wall as you turn the head away from it. Just a couple more breaths. We'll have a nice open chest today. Just open shoulders. And then we'll go ahead and release. And if you'd like, you can kind of just let the arms dangle loose before you go to the other side and you sense the difference. And then go right to the other side. A little harder with a window, but still effective. Another 2 breaths. Whew. And we'll release. Can take some circles, loosen up there. And then let's come down to the back, not the back, to the mat. Find a seat. I think it's a good time now to focus on the legs. So we're going to take the left leg forward, the right foot to the inside of the left thigh. You might want a block today. So this idea that we're kind of supporting the head quite a bit through our practice and letting the neck release, might be able to go there. So next inhale, reach the arms up, left foot is flexed. Exhale, fold forward. Remember, sit on a blanket if this is too much for you and you need a little assistance. Hands somewhere to the leg. Inhale, find length. Exhale, fold in. So while you're folded, you can bring a block or 2, depending on what kind of a height you need, so that the forehead can rest and the neck can release. Now, if you feel like you don't need the assistance, the head can go fairly low, but you want some assistance going deeper in your stretch, then you can bring a block to the foot and hold the block and then pull your way down. Potentially even use a block here too. Wherever you are, deep breaths. We'll say another 1 or 2 full breaths here. And then we'll start to rise up. Switch the legs. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, find length. Exhaling and folding in. Remembering it's not about how far you are in the posture. It's about how you are in the posture. So here, keeping perhaps your mind on the object of our concentration, as you are mindful of the whole body and all the little parts that we're working with. Another deep breath. And we'll inhale, rise. Almost ready to rest. So let's sit up nice and tall. And for a moment, just find a bit of a back bend, maybe by holding the legs, which are crossed, and then just squeezing the shoulders back, letting the head come back, the chest sends forward. And then neutralizing the spine now. Going to work with the neck. So folding the hands into each other, just relaxing the arms, keeping shoulders back though. Turn the head a few times, side to side, left, right. And then head to center and down and up a few times. Head to center. Send one ear towards the sky. Take 4 breaths. Softening the face. Come to center. Take the other ear upward. And we'll bring the head to center. Okay, let the head come down. Maybe some half circles. Maybe a full circle here and there. And then let's bring the head to center. And we're going to come down to the back. Let's see. Yeah, okay. We're going to take one back bend. So let's find the feet planted. Walk the shoulders back. We'll take bridge posture. Pull the pelvis in, then lift it up. Continue to squeeze shoulders back. You might push elbows down as you do so and forearms up, or you might interlace fingers under hips. Push them down, lift the hips up. Draw the knees towards each other. And exhale, release the arms, lower the hips. Bring the right ankle on top of the left thigh. Lift the left leg, coming into a nice hip stretch. Hold the left leg with the arms, pull it in. Right foot is flexed to help get into the right hip. Eyes closed, relaxing the body, even while this specific area that you're stretching is clearly different than the others. Still being able to completely relax here. Again, really embodying one of the most important things we could do for ourselves. Truly relax. Now we'll go ahead and release the left leg, but keep the right foot where it is. Bring the arms to a T and let the legs fold over to the left, turning the head to the right. So right foot is planted. Left leg is totally relaxed. Bring the knees to center and then take them over to the right. So here you might be able to kind of slide the left thigh up the right leg a bit. So you turn the head to the left. And we'll come back to center. Bring both feet down, switch legs, left ankle on top of right thigh. Bring the right leg in, holding it here. Softening the face. Another deep breath. Arms come to a T, right foot down. Keep the left ankle where it is. Drop the legs to the right. Turn the head to the left. Bring the foot to the mat and drop the legs to the left. And again, this time the right thigh might kind of slide up the left leg a little bit. Head turns to the right. And we'll come to center, both feet to the mat. It's time to rest. So find that position that works best for you. If you'd like to cover up with the blanket, feel free. If you want to have the head elevated like the way we began, feel free, or anything else that works for you to be able to relax completely. Then we'll have the arms resting, the palms flipped up. Space between the arms and the trunk. There's space between the heels. So the feet towards the edges of the mat, the toes turned away from each other. Now allow this body to sink completely, as if it's now making a deep impression on the mat. Maybe sinking even further into the mat to become the mat. Relaxing completely from the crown of the head to the sole of the right foot. Crown of the head, the sole of the left foot. From the forehead to the right palm. From the forehead to the left palm. from the right shoulder to the right toes, from the left shoulder to the left toes, from the heart center to the right fingers, the heart center to the left fingers. And now sinking into the words that we held through our practice today. Keep your eyes fixed on the small light, and it will grow. Now, without moving anything, come back to those words. Keep your eyes fixed on the small light, and it will grow. And now allowing your whole being to be filled with that light. And watching that light grow beyond the borders of your body, beyond the borders of your home, beyond the borders of your city, beyond the borders of your state, country, beyond those borders, beyond the entire planet. Feeling connected to all of life through that light. And now drawing that light back so that it comes all the way back through, right back into your full being, your whole and complete self. that self that is not limited by this body or the feelings or the emotions or the thoughts. And sensing that light, begin to breathe more deeply, deeply breathing through your whole being. Begin to move the hands and the feet. Begin to draw the knees in. Give them a squeeze. You can roll to a side and pause. And then find your way to seated when you're ready. So once you are seated, you can just stay there. Feel the stillness that you've cultivated in your being. This is now the time that the body is ripe for meditation. So if afterwards you want to sit a little longer in the stillness, would be good. But we'll seal our practice now. We can bring palms together. We now want to cultivate a sense of having a desire for others, that they find peace and happiness and bliss, that they sense oneness, that we sense the same, that everybody has what they need, and that we're guided by wise ones. So Mangala mantra. Svasti prajabhya paripalayantam nyayena margena mahi mahisha go brahmanebhyah shubhamastu nityam loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. I honor the light in you that is the same light in me. Namaste.